Yo, what's up? And welcome to another reaction video. I have always wanted to go to Japan. I love everything with Japan and Japanese culture, and I've been training martial arts for several years back, mostly jujutsu and similar stuff, different versions of jujutsu, and just love these ninjas and samurais. I love the food. I love the way they think. Well, maybe with an exception for this very strange TV commercials that I reacted to previously. But I've never been there. And I found this video. I haven't seen it yet. It's called 11 Things Not to Do in Japan. So maybe I could learn a few things. Please comment if you have been in Japan, if you agree with it, or there is something that I've missed, or the video was missing, and so on. But let's see, and I will comment if there is anything that's like stands out or whatever. But let's give it a go.
Japan has a rich and complex culture that make it a favorite travel destination of many, but it also makes the country really easy for tourists to embarrass themselves in. Here are 11 things that you should absolutely not do while in Japan. Number 1. Don't tip. Tipping is not a part of Japanese culture, and someone will probably come running after you with your money if you do.
That's very interesting because I've been to the US several times, and it's the complete opposite. You're supposed to tip no matter what. You're supposed to tip because the salary in the food industry, not food industry, in the restaurant industry is so low. So the tipping is like more or less expected. It's like part of the salary. Um, in Sweden where I live, you tip if you think they deserve it or if the service was extraordinary. But it's interesting to see that you don't have to think about that here. No matter, I guess, no matter how good or bad the service is, you don't tip anyway, right?
Now, in some restaurants, you'll see a vending machine where you just insert your money and you choose whatever food item you want, so there's actually no waiter that you could tip. Either way, don't leave a tip because it's actually considered insulting to the waiter. Number 2. Cover your tattoos. Tattoos in Japan are generally associated with criminals and yakuza. Because of this, tattoos are frowned upon in Japanese society, and most pools and bathhouses bar anyone with a tattoo from entering. Number 3. Don't hand.
Is that still true? Because I see more and more people, especially the young ones, come covered in tattoos everywhere. I mean, and they walking openly with it. And I don't think that everyone with tattoos in Japan is part of the Yakuza either. So maybe that's something it's changing. I don't know. Please comment if you know more about it. But I feel there is a change in how they view tattoos. But I could be wrong. Please let me know.
Cash to cashiers. Now, this may seem like a contradictory statement, but in Japan, almost every convenience store will use a tray that you're supposed to place the money on. This is used out of convenience so that the coins don't fall everywhere, and also so that everyone can see exactly what's happening with the money at all times. Number 4. Japanese-only restaurants. Now, this may seem kind of crazy, but some Japanese restaurants will not allow any foreigners into their establishments. That is because while the Japanese can be very friendly and welcoming, there are some aspects of their culture that make them a little xenophobic. There's really no way to tell whether or not a restaurant is Japanese only, but you'll know pretty quickly as soon as you walk in. Usually what happens is a waiter will wave his or her hands no, you'll be told to leave, or any combination of those.
I like that he called it xenophobic, because it actually is. Xenophobic, maybe slightly racist, because it reminds me of back in the days when there were like whites only and black only toilets, restaurants and stuff. Always the good ones for the white people. I wonder why they still have this. I've heard about this before, especially for certain nightclubs and stuff that were only for Japanese people. If anyone have any answers why they still have it, please let me know.
Number 5. Don't talk on trains. The volume of your voice is extremely important in Japan, as everyone is hyper aware and very respectful that they share their space with others. That means talking loudly or speaking.
That's very Swedish. I mean, we don't talk to anyone on the train in Sweden either. We keep our space between us, especially when standing in line, sitting on the train. We don't want to sit next to each other if it's not like packed on the train. So that's something I actually can feel, and not super strange, because we do the same here in Sweden. Maybe not for the same reasons, but we do it.
On the phone in trains is a definite no, and you should avoid it as best you can. Number 6. Proper chopstick use. This is a big one because chopsticks are used to eat almost everything in Japan. The main things not to do with your chopsticks are not to eat directly from common dishes. Always take the food and put it on your plate first and then eat it. Don't point chopsticks at people, as is considered very rude. Don't cross them, and don't leave them sticking out of a rice bowl, as that is part of funeral ceremonies. And don't rub your chopsticks together after you break them apart, because that's rude and disrespectful to the chef, by assuming he purchases poor quality chopsticks. Number 7. Don't wear shoes in the house. Like most people, the Japanese don't want the dirt from outside getting in the house. They take it one step further though, and provide slippers and shoe cubbies at the front door. Even some restaurants will ask customers to take their shoes off before coming.
I don't know why this is a strange thing. We do the same here. I mean, I have slippers inside, and we don't use our outdoor shoes inside. I know in the US, not everyone, but a lot of people, they use the same shoes inside and outside. But we don't do that here, and they don't do it in Japan, so I don't see the issue here. And the Japanese people taking it one step further and having you remove your shoes when walking into a restaurant. I actually like that because it keeps it cleaner, and yeah, I like it. I like it.
Inside. Number 8. Drinking etiquette. This is a big one if you go out with any Japanese while in Japan. There are subtle rituals that show respect towards the person you're drinking with. The first is whenever you receive a drink, always receive it with 2 hands to show respect towards the person pouring. Also, never pour your own drink first, as it's considered selfish. You should pour others' drinks and then put the bottle down, and someone else will take it up and pour your drink for you. If you're not trying to get absolutely hammered, make sure that when you're done, you leave your drink full. Because the way it works is whenever someone sees an empty glass, they'll just immediately pour you another one. Things can get crazy pretty quickly if you're not careful. Number 9. How not to eat sushi. Fish have been the central part of the Japanese diet for centuries, and they've developed tons of different ways to better enjoy the fish. So it's not a bad idea to get to know some of them. The first mistake that most people make is ordering a bunch of sushi at once, instead of a little bit at a time, which they recommend. That's because the temperature of the fish actually matters, and you're supposed to eat it as soon as it comes onto your plate. That's why you sit right at the bar in most sushi places in Japan. The next big mistake that people make is dunking the rice directly into the soy sauce, which makes it absorb way too much. The correct way to do it, if you're going to do it at all, is to flip the fish over so that just the backside of the fish touches the soy sauce. This allows the soy sauce to enhance the flavor of the fish, but without drowning it out. Number 10. Don't expect to use your card. Japan is a cash-based society, and they're generally skeptical of credit cards. So almost every place that you'll visit will use cash. Don't worry though, because the 7-Eleven ATMs will work with any card and are open 24 hours a day. It's not unusual for Japanese businessmen to grab 30 or 40,000 yen before they leave the house. Like I said, everything here is done in cash.
That's very different from here, because in Sweden there is a lot of stores that won't accept cash. They want us to be digital. They want us to use the mobile apps or use the credit cards or the cards you have on your phone and whatever. It's actually getting harder and harder to use cash in Sweden. And I know there is similar things happening in other Nordic countries, except for Germany. They're more like the Japanese people. Cash only.
Last but not least, number 11, receiving business cards. This is another good one if you plan on meeting people while in Japan. When exchanging business cards, always receive the card with 2 hands and study it carefully before putting it away. Don't shove it into your back pocket carelessly, as it may be interpreted as being rude. It's best to carefully place it into your wallet to show that you respect them and the business they work for. If you stuck around to the end of the video, thank you, it means a lot. Click on the video on the top left to see what you should do while in Tokyo, and click on the video on the bottom left to watch me get horribly lost while trying to explore the city of Kathmandu in Nepal.
There were actually a lot of new stuff that I did not know. A few things I do know, how to receive business cards, how to pour up liquor, how to you remove your shoes, and that you should sit and eat sushi next to the bar. Even though I don't eat fish, I prefer my vegetarian sushi. Don't tell anyone. But I'm still curious about that Japanese-only restaurants and bars. Not a big fan of that. But, well, at least I still want to go because I love it. So please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya. Peace out.